Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jazz Talk, my favorite segment of the show, where I interview local jazz musicians. This week we have Isaiah and Nanez. Isaiah, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. Huge fan of the show. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, it's an honor. Well, first I want to ask you, just introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them a little bit about yourself, where you study here, and what you play, and stuff like that.
Oh, this is gonna take a while. So I'm Isaiah Nanez. I'm a senior music business major here at West Texas A&M. My primary is tuba and euphonium now, so not necessarily a jazz instrument, but I do play jazz trombone. Been doing that for a couple of years now. And along with that, I am the Alumni Relations Officer for Phi Mu Alpha, very involved with the Baptist Student Ministry here. I wear a lot of hats. I'm also one of the drum majors for the marching band. I do all the things. I'm the band president. The list goes on and on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The next thing I wanted to ask you is, how long have you been playing these instruments for? You could probably go down the list of each instrument.
Okay, so euphonium. I started playing euphonium in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. So it feels like eons ago at this point.
Yeah.
That'd be like 10 years or so. Uh-huh. Tuba, I started my sophomore year of college on tuba, which is about 2.5 years now.
Okay.
And then trombone, I started playing trombone my sophomore year of high school, which would have been 5-6 years now.
I see.
Something like that.
When did you start playing jazz?
So I started playing jazz sophomore year of high school. I was in the jazz band on euphonium. I looked like the goofiest little kid just playing in the jazz band on my euphonium for my freshman year. But I wanted to play jazz because it was different, it was new, and I wanted to do everything. So I played on euphonium for my freshman year. Then my sophomore year, I finally mustered up the courage to ask to play trombone, and I did. And then I didn't even get to play one concert on trombone because then COVID hit. But then all of COVID, all I did was practice. I practiced my horns because that's all I had to do at home was practice euphonium and trombone. So that's how I got pretty decent at trombone was over COVID.
I see. And how did you figure out about jazz band?
Well, it was my band director over at Dumas High School. I'm from Dumas, Texas. James Carter. He was our jazz band director, and he's also the head junior high band director at Dumas. And he ran the jazz band, and he did a great job just teaching us the basics of how to play. He's done a lot of good work in the Panhandle, just running the jazz, like all-region jazz program and such. But the main person that gravitated my interest towards it, he was a good buddy of mine. His name's Jordan Conde. He actually goes to WT. He was a comms major, just graduated. He told me the main reason I should play was because we would play at a banquet at the end of the year, and they would give you free food. And he said you would get a nice steak dinner if you just played a couple jazz tunes. And I was like, oh, I like steak. I was a little 14-year-old kid. You can entice me to do something with just food.
Yeah.
And and that ended up being the reason I did jazz, was because I was like, man, I want to play at the banquet. I want to be able to get a steak for free.
Yeah, awesome. And what made you so attracted to the genre of jazz?
Well, as a euphonium player, you don't get cool rhythms. Like, you get a march, you get a cool melody maybe, but you really don't get anything different. It's all very linear, the same. And whenever I heard jazz for the first time, I was very interested in the syncopation, just the offbeat rhythms that I had never gotten to play before. And I wanted to be the best musician I possibly could, and I knew playing different music would get me to that point. So I started playing in the jazz band. And yes, like the grade 1 jazz charts we were playing didn't have much like content in them.
Yeah.
But it definitely taught me how to play music better. It made the variety of music I played more interesting. It taught me things like, like stop tonguing. I didn't know how to do stuff like that on euphonium because that's just not technique that you need to know. But I was very interested in learning, so I joined jazz band on euphonium and got made fun of for a little bit.
Interesting, yeah.
And then, once I picked up the trombone, that was a big learning curve.
Yeah.
Playing trombone and euphonium, they're very different. Like, you'd think same mouthpiece, pretty much the same. No, I mean, slide positions, moving from position to position, that was a big learning curve. But I'm glad I made it because I would probably still be playing euphonium and jazz band if they would let me at this point. And jazz euphonium's cool, but it's not that cool.
Yeah. I see. Well, you already talked about a little bit about how differently you had to think when you played instruments, but how differently do you have to think when you're playing jazz compared to when you're playing in a band setting?
Yeah. In a band setting, I kind of have to, at this point, I've been playing in band for 10 plus years. it's gotten to the point where I can almost turn off my brain at times and just coast. Well, not in a bad way, of course, but I know the technique I need to have. When it comes to jazz, you're going to have different technique from piece to piece. Like, you're not going to have the same playing technique in a Latin piece that you would use in like a standard swing or like a ballad. Yeah, I love that you actually have to think when you're playing jazz. And like, even whenever it comes to soloing, you don't have things written out for you. Like, it's mainly just free flow and just whatever your mind gives you. And I always loved that. I loved soloing whenever I got to play, because it was the opportunity for me to actually make music that was mine.
I see, yeah.
And not anyone else's. And I'd always loved that the idea of that in high school and even in college.
I see. Well, you talked a little bit about the certain genres and how you have to switch kind of the style you're playing at, constantly changing. The question I have for you is, what are some of your favorite styles of jazz you love playing, or even love listening to, if they're different, of course?
Yeah. My favorite style is definitely Latin. I love Latin charts. They're fast-paced. They almost in your face at times. The Airman of Note album, Tiempo Latino, it's amazing. It's all jazz charts, and they're all just in Latin style. Yeah. And it's very just big, and bombastic is a word I like to use. It's just kind of in your face to the point where like you're like, okay, I get what this is trying to give me. And then, of course, I also love a ballad. I love to mix things up and go from, the extreme loud to the extreme soft. Yeah. And the ballad, like Moonlight Serenade, that's something that I always turn to. It's just a beautiful, it just shows off the expanded like technique of just smoothness. Like, I know they use the smooth elevator jazz term, but like, honestly, that's some of my favorite stuff. The stuff that'll put you to sleep. Yeah. The stuff that is so good that it makes you feel things. And those are probably my two favorites.
I see. The next question I have for you is, what are some role models you have in the world of jazz?
Oof. This is a good question. I should have thought about this a little more. I do listen to a lot of jazz. Mainly, I love the people that compose. I love the writers. I love Duke Ellington. Okay. The Duke Ellington Orchestra, the jazz orchestra, they're amazing. And I love his Night Creature. It's a symphony he wrote for jazz orchestra. Yum. And it just beautifully portrays like a creepy setting. It's supposed to like portray like a creature. It's called Night Creature. Yeah. And it's really cool. So Duke Ellington's up there. And as a trombone player, Duke Ellington might be a weird person to have on there, but that's such a cool one. And even, I'm not a drummer, but I love Buddy Rich. I know that's a basic like thing, but when you take the drums out of a jazz piece, you lose all context. You don't have anything. So somebody that can just fill the empty sound and do it that well, amazing. And I guess I should throw a trombone player in there. I'll probably throw in Andy Martin. Okay. I feel like that's the most common answer for a trombone player, but this man has played in so many like movie sets, and like his iconic solos are the reason people play jazz trombone. And that's definitely one of the ones for me. And then I guess, so I have so many, but Wycliffe Gordon. There's so many videos of Wycliffe Gordon that made me like just like want to try to learn how to play his stuff, but he's like one of a kind. Like the way he plays, it's just unmatched. And then there's the funny video of him like playing the piccolo trombone. Yeah. And I go back to that just when I'm having a bad day, just because like he makes me so happy. Just his happiness playing makes me happy. And so guys like that, those are the reasons I pick up the horn. I see.
Talking about people that you listen to constantly, as musicians, we always listen to people playing the pieces we're learning to play. So who is someone you try to replicate your sound off of? Either that being trombone, euphonium, tuba, anything of the sorts.
Okay, so the first one for jazz trombone, this is actually not like a world-renowned musician. This is a guy I sat next to in jazz band for years. His name is James Selman, and he's been on the show before, I believe. Yeah. And James, he's one of my dear friends. Got to perform a recital with him my sophomore year, and he just has the sound. Like he has everything that I've ever wanted to sound like, and I got to sit next to him in multiple ensembles, and just in the best term possible, steal everything that he was doing amazing. Like, but that's jazz, when you hear something you like, you're like, well, I'm going to take some of that and use that. And I took the pleasure of sitting next to James like so much. And man, he could solo for days. Like he could play for 30 minutes and none of it would sound the same. And I just appreciate that so much. And as far as like euphonium playing goes, I would say guys like Adam Fry. Adam Fry is an amazing euphonium player. I mean, not a jazz euphonium player, of course, but amazing euphonium player. And when it comes to tuba, you got to throw out all those Norwegian guys. They can play. Øystein Bodsvik. He, like, the type of guys that like take off their shoes while they're playing because they're weird and they need to hear like the vibrations on the soles of their feet. But they like never miss a note. Play the most perfect you've ever heard a tuba ever be played. But it's definitely like those three guys.
Interesting. Who is an artist, dead or alive, that you wish you could perform with?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I also just love the genre of funk, and guys like Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
And I would not be able to keep up with guys like that. Not at all. They are just insane. Like, they'd be like, okay, they're gonna hum a rhythm. Like, okay, we're gonna play that. Even guys like Ray Charles, guys like that, they would like finish their sets and still have 30 minutes, and they would just improv for 30 minutes. And I'm not that good. I'm a simple player, but man, it'd be awesome to be in an ensemble like that with musicians that just could just improv for 30 minutes to fill time. I can't do that, but I'd love to be a part of something like that.
Interesting. Yeah. If you could take the playing ability or the writing ability of any artist ever, who and why would you pick them?
Man, definitely going back to like Duke Ellington. He was a fabulous player, but honestly, he might have been a more fabulous writer, because the man, he wrote so many things that we don't even think about, and that have shaped jazz as a whole.
Yeah.
So definitely a guy like Duke Ellington. He'd be probably the top one, because as a high school kid, my dream was to compose. And then I got to college and I was like, okay, this is kind of hard. Just thinking, like, those guys would like close their eyes and they would just have it. They would be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how I'm going to write it out. The trumpets are going to have this rhythm. The saxophones are going to do this on top of it. And I'm like, man, I wish I had a brain like that. Yeah. That I could just like fall asleep and wake up and have a symphony that I could write out because I had a dream about it or something.
Interesting. Yeah. I know you talked about improvising earlier a little bit. So when you're improvising, what exactly is going through your mind?
Oh, man, when I was in high school, I thought everything had to be perfect. I thought, like, I would, like, play a cool lick, and I was like, oh, I gotta write that out. I'm gonna write that out or I'm gonna miss it. It's truly not that deep. You're gonna mess up, and that's okay. That's jazz. Like, shoot, if you play something that sounds wrong, just go up half a step. That's what I always told my buddies whenever they would first start improving, was, man, if you're gonna play something wrong, play it wrong and proud. Because at least they know that you're trying. Yeah. Because if you're playing like Wimpissimo and they can't even hear you, there's no point in playing. I remember in high school, the first piece I ever improved on was called Basin Street Blues. And it's just a simple B-flat blues chart. And B-flat blues is the easiest thing you could do. Like, you truly cannot miss a note on a B-flat blues. And there wasn't even like chords in it. Like, there wasn't like a chord sheet that I could look at. It was just like, oh, it's in B flat. Yeah. We're just gonna play whatever's in the B flat scale. Like, that worked, and just being able to play around on that for like a semester really opened up my brain to like, oh, I can solo on other things. I remember the first time I ever had a challenge of like, what am I doing? It was, I had just graduated high school and I went to the Texas Tech band camp. Yeah. And I somehow got first chair in the jazz band. I do not know how to this day I did that, because I am not that good of a player. Like, I get by with what I know, but first chair, that was wild to me. First chair, top ensemble. And I had to solo in this piece called Red Zone. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a cool piece. And it's an E-flat funk. And I had no idea what that meant at the time. I was still learning what key signatures were. And because I went to a pretty small school, key signatures weren't like like a taught thing. That was just a like, oh, we're going to play in this key. Remember that. Yeah. So I was playing in an E-flat funk, and I remember I would just throw things that I had heard in there. And embarrassingly, I played like the Among Us lick in that solo. I opened it with that. There's a video of it somewhere. Maybe I can send that to you and have it posted somewhere. But there's a video of me playing the Among Us lick. I'm wearing it was like a tiki themed day, and I'm wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. Interesting. Playing the Among Us lick, and like there's like kids snickering in the back, and I'm like, man, that was a real like eye-opening moment. Like, okay, maybe I need to practice these things. Maybe I actually need to improv a little more. Yeah. So the thing that you need to do and think about when improving is just do reps. Just put on a little backtrack, an E flat funk backtrack, and see what sounds good. And some things are going to sound bad, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Get the junk out whenever you're in rehearsal, and so then we can see what the good stuff is whenever the performance time comes.
Yeah. Perfect. Why do you think jazz and people's emotions have such a close connection to each other?
Man, music is an amazing thing. And for me, I mean, music moves me in ways that I never would imagine. I mean, I think music speaks whenever words don't. I mean, you often hear that phrase, but I truly think jazz is one of the things that does that. I mean, with an incorporation of jazz and like mainstream music now, with artists now, dipping their toes into that genre, it's been really cool to see people actually like open up and realize that jazz is not just the elevator music. It's just, it's real music that makes you feel things, and that's okay. Especially even whenever, it's like a fast, like paced bebop tune.
Yeah.
It's okay to like, wow, this is wanting to make me move. This is wanting to make me, move around a little bit, sway a little bit. That's okay. And I feel like people used to restrict themselves from that because jazz was a genre that was, like lame, or it wasn't as cool as pop music, rock music. But I think with it becoming more mainstream, with artists performing full concerts that are jazz based, I think people are opening up to the idea of like, hey, I can actually enjoy this and talk about this without being judged, and people understanding that this is a cool thing. Like I love this artist, but I don't like to bring it up because it's like controversial. But Leve is doing an amazing work with just the jazz inspired thing.
Yeah.
She's also a classically trained musician, and I appreciate that. As a lot of people, they build their talent, through experience and not through school. She did that. She went, what was it, Berkeley? The Berkeley School of Music?
She went to,
or was it?
I thought she went to Juilliard.
Juilliard? I don't know, but she went to.
Fact check.
Yeah, fact check this. I don't know which one it is, but she was like a trained musician who made music, and then I wouldn't say bringing back jazz because I don't think it was ever dead, but she's like making it more mainstream than it was, and that's pretty awesome. Did you fact check that?
It's Berkeley.
Berkeley? I know I was right. Yeah, I'm always right.
Yeah. I get you. What is one of your favorite memories relating to jazz?
Ooh. I have two. So the first one is kind of a bad memory, not in like the sense that I didn't enjoy my time, but it was a very fever dream like time. It was also, I had just graduated high school. It was my last year of WT band camp.
Okay.
And I was on the high of like, man, I just made first chair at the Texas Tech band camp. I'm so good, so like prideful and full of myself. It's like, I don't got to try that hard to get a top chair in this ensemble. And there's 3 jazz bands at the WT band camp.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could at least make jazz 2, high chair jazz 2, because I knew there was going to be some insanely talented players.
Yes.
I made like second to last chair in the worst jazz band. And that was the biggest reality check of my life. I'm like, man, this is about where I should be. And so in that band, because the way the jazz bands work for a WT band camp is all age. No matter how old you are, you can try out for it. Like I was sitting next to like 8th graders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this was humbling. This was really humbling. We're playing like grade 0.5 charts. And I had just played like real big band charts the week before.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I got kids next to me. Maybe they haven't even been taught how to read syncopation yet. They probably haven't even had a jazz band education yet. And I'm like, man, this is rough. And we played Cantaloupe Island. We played like a grade 1 version of Cantaloupe Island. And it was probably the worst performance I have ever been a part of. Not in like a demeaning way. These kids, they didn't know how to play jazz yet.
Yeah.
But it was humbling because it was awesome to see because there was people that wanted to play jazz. Like our piano player, I think she was like 11 years old. And that's not a bad thing. Like she could play. But man, it was really cool to see the youth wanting to be involved in a jazz band. And yes, I had a good amount of buddies that were in there that I now go to school with that are probably the best saxophone players in the School of Music. Like our alto saxophone players were Emmanuel Garcia and Joseph Fondren. That's how crazy this band was. Like we had like those are the top 2 guys in our symphonic band right now, and they were in the bottom jazz band with me. And I'm like, man, what happened? Like what look how far we've come since that moment.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to best and favorite moments, So this is kind of a weird like mix of jazz and the other things that I enjoy, because I love marching band.
Yeah.
Marched 2 seasons of drum corps, and being able to mix my love for jazz with my love of marching was awesome. In 2024, I got to be the drum major for the Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps, and we played. I talked about it earlier. Duke Ellington's Night Creature, the second movement, in our show, and it's just such a cool incorporation of jazz into the drum corps realm.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I may have not been playing my instrument. I just been waving my hands on the field, to keep us in time. But being able to just feel that presence and like watch the crowd dart up onto their feet after that big hit in that piece, I was like, man, this is awesome. And seeing that as a performer was really, really cool.
I see. Yeah. Why do you think it's important to listen to live jazz when you can?
Man, if you're a jazz musician, the reason you should listen to live jazz is because it's not the studio recording. Like, you may have been listening to the studio recording of your favorite piece ever, and you think it goes one specific way. But like those improv solos in there, someone might do them completely different, and they might be the best thing you've ever heard in your life. Because I think live jazz is amazing because it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same once than it was the next time. So every time you hear it performed, it's a different like tune, basically.
Yeah.
And especially if it's different people performing it. Like, maybe you really love like Gordon Goodwin's arrangement of Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's going to sound completely different the first time that you listen to it in a concert than the second time, because it's a different like soprano saxophone player playing the solo. That's why I think it's super important, because that's also why you can't rule out jazz, because maybe you had a bad experience listening to it one time. Like, maybe you heard the Jazz 3 performance from my Bandcamp performance and you were like, oh, I can't stand jazz now because that was terrible. But then you listen to like the top jazz band play like an actual real arrangement of jazz music and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Don't count it out because you had one bad live experience. Keep going, keep listening, keep trying new things.
I see, yeah. Besides music, what else inspires you?
So I might get on my soapbox a little bit here, but in my future career, yes, I'm getting a degree in music business, but I plan to not use that, sadly, and I plan to go into seminary and be a pastor one day. And when it comes to stuff like that, I love worship music, worship style music. I think it's a great opportunity to make worship through music. I mean, some people, that's how they find the closest connection with their religious self. And for me, I feel that as well. So just being able to use the gifts that we were given to make amazing music has been really, really cool. And that's something that I find interest in, is all aspects of music, especially through our religious-based worship.
I see. Yeah. What is the best advice you have gotten relating to music?
Ooh. So a couple years ago, I also have I have a funny answer. So I'm a student of Dr. Jeremy Lewis here at WT, and we make a lot of analogies as to how our playing should sound. And one of them was during a lesson, I was talking with him about like my playing just doesn't sound like as clear how I want it to sound. And he said, yeah, your playing sounds like a seltzer water right now.
Okay.
And you want your playing to sound like Sprite. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get that. And then he kept talking. Like, I understood his analogy, but then he kept going. He said, it's like you try to buy jeans at Walmart instead of at the jeans store.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, you lost me, but like I see what you're trying to say. And that's just some funny advice I've got. Like, if you want more clarity in your playing, try to sound like Sprite.
Okay.
Instead of seltzer water. So that's some advice I've gotten, but some, I guess, real advice.
Yeah.
I'll shout out a quick person. He's probably not listening. He's definitely not listening, but he was a very big impact on my life. It was in 2023, my rookie season of drum corps. My brass caption head, his name was Daniel Scott, amazing band director over on the East Coast. And he gave us the advice of like, man, live out your music. Don't just let it be something that you do like, and then forget about.
Yeah.
Music is something that lasts eternally. Whenever, we're not even here anymore, music will still be performed. Music will still be, even whenever, we pass and go to heaven, the first thing they say is like the trumpets will sound and you will hear the strings of the harps. Like music is eternal. Like, and remember that music lasts and music heals, it helps, it does all the things. So let it do that. And man, he was just such a good person to have, especially in the rough experience of my first season of drum corps, where your body hurts, you don't want to do it anymore, you want to go home, you're on the bus and like it's cramped, and you get like a Buc-ee's stop where you can't even buy anything and it's just a bathroom stop and like you cry, but it's okay, like things like that are gonna happen. But music, man, that's the reason we do the thing.
Exactly. Have you ever had to perform while being sick or exhausted? If so, how did you get through it?
All right. On multiple occasions, I've done this. I've been talking about drum corps a lot, but this one actually pertains to this question. It was our show in Huntington, West Virginia. This is one of my favorite shows we perform. It's at Marshall University, and it's an amazing crowd. Like, they react super well to everything, and it didn't matter it didn't matter if we performed terribly. They would give us an amazing reaction. And I had just been told I have COVID. And
I see.
2 days before the show, and I'm like, dang, this really sucks. Like, I love performing. I love performing for and this crowd as well. And so I'm on the bus and I'm like, man, because that's where they would keep us if we couldn't perform. Just so we made sure we were away from the core. And I was on the bus just wallowing in my self-pity, and our core doctor trainer comes up into the bus and she's like, Isaiah, what are you doing on here? And I'm like, well, I can't perform. She's like, who told you that? And I was like, the trainer. And she's like, well, he's gone now. I'm in charge now. It's like, do you want to perform? And I was like, yeah. She's like, do you have your uniform? I was like, yeah, because I snuck it on because I figured I would try to get off the bus anyway. But then she was like, well, it's like, if I close my eyes for 5 seconds and you're gone, I'm not gonna say anything, and don't get them in trouble. But and it's okay because I was a backfield drum major. I'm not in any close proximity with anybody. I that's the excuse I used. I'm like, man, it doesn't matter. But man, I was my body was in so much pain. I was aching. And yes, the drum major life is pretty cushy and easy, but conducting a drum corps show, that kind of hurts. You're doing hard rhythms, hard, count structure. And, it's not a terribly easy thing to do, but that performance, carrying my ladder onto the field, my ladder felt like it was 100 pounds. Yeah. And then, having to climb up it, I was scared I was going to fall off of it. But yeah, I performed at the Huntington, West Virginia show with COVID, and everyone was like, Isaiah, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just trying to perform, man. We thought you had COVID. It's maybe I do. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe it was a false positive test. So, but yeah. And it was there. We were warming up the brass, and the Blue Stars were right behind us. And my good friend and buddy, Sean Viatoro, he was there, and he tells me the story. He's like, man, you didn't look too good when I saw you in the Huntington, West Virginia show. And I was like, yeah, I had COVID. And he was like, why were you out there? And I'm like, I wanted to perform. So that's just the funny story of that.
Yeah. What do you hope for the future of jazz?
Yeah, I mean, jazz, I think it's growing more than ever. And especially in the Panhandle has had a rough experience of just jazz being a thing in general. But I think it's more prosperous now than ever. And even in schools, there's more schools that are participating in jazz related things. And it's really awesome to see, because it really starts with the young people. The young people being interested in things really pushes it out to other people, because, young people, they're the presence on social media nowadays. So if they're posted about oh, jazz stuff, that's really cool. And that gets people looking at it. And it's really awesome to see people are performing gigs that are jazz related everywhere in the Panhandle now. That was not a thing that we used to see even my freshman year of college. It was pretty sparse to see as many trios and ensembles that we have performing around in the area. But now it seems multiple days a week there's multiple jazz artists performing in bars or just in venues around the area. And that's really cool to see. So I think we're in a good state now, but I think it can only go upward from here.
I see, yeah. And the last question I have for you is, what advice do you have for up-and-coming jazz musicians?
And play your instrument. I mean, that may be a hard thing to do now. I mean, post-COVID, I think people are not wanting to pick up their instruments as much as they used to, just because, man, I want to scroll on Instagram Reels. I want to scroll on TikTok. I want to be on social media.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, you can listen to some amazing instrumentalists on those apps, but don't vicariously live through them. Go make music similar to they're making. And so just play the horn. Like, you're never going to get better if you're just sitting there, like, wishing you were better.
Yeah.
You got to put in the hard work. And yes, it sucks after a little bit. But once you hit the threshold of, like, man, I know what I'm doing, nothing's better than just being able to play. And then take every opportunity you can. Yes, it may sacrifice time, but, you know, we got plenty of that. I mean, we got 24 hours in a day. Might as well use 1 hour of it to play some jazz.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty cool. So I think do some of that. Play as many ensembles as you can. Ask your band director if you can start a jazz ensemble. Shoot. I mean, the worst they can say is no. And the worst you can do after that is get some of your buddies together and play anyway. It doesn't have to be like a school sanctioned thing. It doesn't have to be like a full set thing. You can just be playing with your buds. You know, you may not have a drum set player, but you can play with like your trombone, trumpet friends. You know, do all you can. Play as much as you can. Take advantage of like your all region jazz band opportunities.
Yeah.
Play at whatever camp you go to. Find camps. Find places you can play. Don't let, I don't have anyone to play with be an excuse. There's people out there that definitely want to play some more music, and jazz is one of those things that'll make you just an overall better musician.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Awesome said. And then this little moment I like to give to all my guests where I kind of just let them shout out anybody that deserves a shout out or just promote anything that's going to happen soon. So the moment is yours. Take it away.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to shout out